Huh? What are you doing in my swamp?
Hello everybody, this is Ogre Boy, and I'm going to be doing my review for the 1995 movie Batman Forever. So, in this movie, Batman is trying to stop Two-Face and the Riddler in their scheme to extract information from all of the mines in Gotham City, while Bruce Wayne is having to deal with adopting an orphan acrobat who becomes his sidekick Robin. And his relationship with psychologist Dr. Chase Meridian. This is one of my personal favorite Batman movies. I've actually always loved this one. I know a lot of people either love it or hate it, and I'm more in the love it camp. This movie does have a lot of issues, though, that keeps it from being my most favorite Batman movie, but it's probably, out of the Burton and Schumacher era, this is the one I've probably seen the most. Partly because Jim Carrey's in it, and I'm just a huge fan of Jim Carrey, and he's great in all of his movies and stuff, and he's really good as a Riddler in this. Although he didn't really act like the Riddler, he's more acting like Jim Carrey than he is the Riddler, but he's still really good in here. I really like him, and I love Tommy Lee Jones as Two-Face. I know a lot of people didn't like him in it because he hated working with Jim Carrey, and you could tell that he was getting annoyed by him throughout the movie and stuff. Knowing the story behind it, you can really see it when you watch the movie, but I still really liked him. I thought he did a really good job, though, and for not liking Jim Carrey and stuff, I think it showed his acting skills are pretty decent, because they worked decent together in this movie. I wouldn't say they were great together, though. They didn't have that chemistry because they didn't get along, but they worked good enough together, and it showed that they both really were trying in their roles. And I think that both of them were really good. And Val Kilmer takes over the role of Batman and Bruce Wayne after Michael Keaton left, and I actually really loved him as both characters, especially the Bruce Wayne side of things. I thought he was really great as Bruce Wayne, but I think that Michael Keaton was a better Batman and Val Kilmer is a better Bruce Wayne, if that makes sense. But he does I think he's one of the most underrated Batmans, though, because he really is good in the role, and I would have loved to see him return if he would have came back for Batman and Robin and stuff, but he was having problems with Joel Schumacher himself. But I loved him in this movie, and I think that he was pretty good. And Chris O'Donnell as Robin is pretty good too. It's not really believable that he's a high schooler, but he's still really good. And I think that Nicole Kidman as Dr. Chase Meridian is okay. She's more there to be the love interest and the damsel in distress, really. She's not really there to have much to the story. She doesn't really do a lot in here, but she's fine for what she is in it. And she is over-sexualized in this movie. Like every time she talks and stuff, they make her talk slower and try to make her sound sexier, and that's kind of annoying. But aside from that, I think she's fine as Dr. Chase Meridian. And Drew Barrymore even has a small role as one of the henchwomen for the Riddler, which is pretty cool. But all of the cast in here are all pretty good and everything. The main things keeping this connected to the first two movies that Tim Burton did is that it has some of the same supporting actors, and I think they might have used some of the same sets. Most of them I think are different, but there are some. And this one has a lot more colors and stuff to it, like they were trying to make it more lighthearted for kids. And this movie was pretty much just like with Batman and Robin, kind of made to sell the toys. The studio didn't really care too much about what the fans of Batman and stuff thought of it. They did it more for the toy sales and stuff. They wanted to make it campier and more lighthearted because of how much criticism they got for Batman Returns, because it got a lot of people butt hurt. But I really enjoyed this movie quite a bit. but I feel like everybody was good in it, and the production design and stuff still is pretty good. And I kind of like the Batmobile in this one. I think it looks really cool. I had a toy of it too, but it was a smaller version than the one I had of the one from the '89 movie. But it was like a Hot Wheels version, and it was pretty cool. I loved that. And like I said, this is a fun movie, but there are a lot of things about it that I don't like too. Like I said, the chemistry isn't the best between Jim Carrey and Tommy Lee Jones, but seeing they didn't get along and stuff, I think they still worked a lot better than they could have and stuff. And this movie does have some great moments though, like the scene when Robin's parents die, stuff. That whole scene is just excellent. I absolutely love it and everything. And then also you got the crazy scene when Riddler and Two-Face show up at that party and Batman drops through the ceiling and everything. I love that scene too. And there's this guy in the background for some weird ass reason goes, "Batman, ah!" And the way he does it just cracks me up. But yeah, like I said, this is a fun movie. It's really campy. It has a lot of nostalgia too. Like I said, it's one of the Batman movies I watched the most growing up and stuff and everything, because I was a huge fan of Jim Carrey as a kid and everything. So this is one of the ones I watched all the time, but I don't think it's necessarily one of the best Batman movies, but I do like it way more than I've ever given it credit for, because I always forget how much I enjoy it every time I watch it and everything. So all in all, I'd say I'd give Batman Forever a 7.5 out of 10. The only reason it's not getting an 8 is because it could have been so much better. I wish they would have kept Billy D. Williams as Two-Face. It would have made a lot more sense, seeing they introduced him as it. Then I also, like I said, I wish that they would have done a little bit more with that side of the story with Two-Face. They didn't really give him much character development or anything. I wish I would have done a little bit more with him, but like I said, aside from that, for the most part, it's a really fun movie, and I really enjoy it for the most part. So it kind of slows down a little bit in the middle. There's supposedly like a 3 or 4 hour cut of the movie that's never been released, that Joel Schumacher's original vision. I would have loved to see the original version of it, because I like this version. I think that the extended one would probably make it even better. Maybe, hopefully they'll release the Schumacher cut, maybe on HBO Max or something eventually. But all in all, I think Batman Forever is a decent movie. It's way better than people will give it credit for, and everything. We've got so many other better Batman movies in years since this one came out. So this one kind of just doesn't really get talked about. It's just known as the one with Jim Carrey as the Riddler. People don't really care about it as much, but I think it's still a fun movie. But anyway, let me know in the comments what you think of Batman Forever, and I hope you enjoyed this video, and have a good day, everybody.